Make sure I unmute. Okay. So hello everyone. This is for discussion 4 and the 5 things we have concerns or questions about. And my first one would be concerning to TPEs in regards to how to effectively implement them in naturally without having to be like, oh, this is TPE1, this is TPE2, and it's like really obvious that you're going down through it. How do you implement it naturally where it's not something that it's like that? So that just one for me is how to implement it naturally. And I'm pretty sure this comes with time and experience in the classroom. So maybe that's just it, but that's just like a concern for me. Another one would be to how to adjust to students who have a hard time with your teaching methods, despite you already adjusting to their needs and their needs in education wise. So that's just one thing that I'm concerned. I know like teachers in the past of mine, if a student really didn't catch on after they tried and tried and tried, they would just usually give up on that student and move on. So how would we address that without, just moving on and ignoring their needs? And with like maybe is it go to another colleague and have him go in that class for a day? Maybe it works better with her or him. So I'm just not sure how that would go, because you don't want to lose a student who you've been working with and just over that one issue. So how will you go about that with a student? For my fourth question, it revolves around SEL. So I know like Fresno Unified is really big on SEL, but one of my questions is like, how would you have parents implement SEL at home without it disrupting their household dynamics? So I know that like in some of my religions, like if we're really traditional, I know that like the guys are not supposed to be talking about their feelings or that they're stressed. They're supposed to hold it in and they're supposed to like just go with it. So like how would they cope with stress and talk it out to someone? And if your parents are already like telling no, that's a big no at home, how would you get the parents on board with that? So it's just like what's the fine line of that to not disrupt their household dynamics, but at the same time implementing these helpful things so the student could feel more at ease and it will help them more. So that is something that like I have a question about, because it's that fine line of not surpassing what parents don't want you to and kind of like helping the student too. Another one would be using SEL in the classrooms. I know a lot of teachers use morning meetings for their SEL. So they start their day off with asking the students how they are, getting right into their needs, how they're feeling, to adjusting the day for the students. I know that a lot of teachers does that. So what would be other methods to perform SEL without using morning meetings or without issuing like any meetings at all and just doing it naturally into the classroom? Because I've only known of morning meetings much. So what would be other ways to actually build those relationships and everything without performing meetings? And then my last questions pertains to routines and student engagement. So in sim school, when I was like teaching a student, I realized that, oh, I've kept things routinely too much. The students start to get bored and they lose engagement and participation. But if I change it up a bit, oh, they're happy. But if I change it too much, they're like, I don't know what's going on. So what's that fine line of too much change and this is too boring, too much routine, too much of the same routine? Like it's probably like the first one when I was talking about TPE, where it probably comes with experience in the classroom. But other than that, I was just wondering what's that fine line? I'm pretty sure once we get in a classroom and we know the students more, we'll know what they like and how they adjust to everything. But just off of someone who is like hasn't had their own classroom like that yet, like us for now, how would we know what's that fine line? If we're just gonna go in the classroom and we're gonna like do a couple lesson plans, how much is too much? So those are my concerns or questions. I hope I could get some answers for them.